Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? So, it took me a while, and I had to think about this topic, and I said this should be a really good video. I'm not going to complain or, blame these companies anymore. I thought about it. As a company, they want the most profit, right? As a consumer, we should expect more from these companies. If you don't expect more from these companies, then of course these companies are going to find ways to save money, whether it be incremental upgrades. And don't get me wrong, obviously, from the Switch 2 and the Switch 1, there's a huge upgrade performance. But the Switch 1 to the Switch OLED wasn't a huge upgrade. That was an incremental upgrade. So I'm not saying that even I pay for incremental upgrades. I'm saying we shouldn't pay for incremental upgrades. We should expect more as customers from these companies. So I'm not going to blame Nintendo or Xbox and Sony anymore. It's your fault. If you're stupid enough to pay any price and justify it just because you care about the company or you're loyal to the company that has billions of dollars, it's your fault. If video games become a price that no one can afford, it's your fault. If video games aren't as good, right, but you're paying $100 a game, it's your fault. It's not the company's fault. It's your fault. If you don't expect more from these companies, if you don't expect MBTA to have signs for buses with all the money that they have, it's our fault. And I got news for you. Oh, sorry, I'm getting mad. I got news for you. Things don't get better, they get worse. If you complain about a price but buy it, expect the price to be even higher next time. If you don't complain about the MBTA not even have signs for knowing where the buses are located, you could have tourists that aren't even from this country and they're not even going to know. We rely on technology so much that no one notices that the signs don't even have the buses displayed. It's only going to get worse if you allow Nintendo or Xbox or even Sony to just charge you anything and you're willing to pay for it. And then when I'm talking on Facebook, oh, video games aren't for poor people. Excuse me? Do you know how disrespectful that is to everyone in other countries that are unfortunate that probably can't even afford food? And you're talking about video games aren't for poor people? Video games are supposed to be affordable. It shouldn't be only rich people can buy video games and then look down on poor people. And you act as if cheap people don't exist. How does that make any sense? If I was cheap, right, I'd have a lot more money. It's beyond me how anyone could justify for billionaire companies justify the price. I got news for you, okay? Even if Mario Kart World was $60, Nintendo would be making a huge profit. You know why? Think about it. It makes it more affordable for people that can't afford $80. So not only are you getting the idiots that'll buy it for 80 and not complain, but you're also getting the people, right, that can't afford the Switch 2. You made it very clear, you know that new customers might not be able to afford the Switch 2, right? So make it affordable. You'd still be making a profit. You'd be making money off of the morons that'll pay anything, and you'll be making money off of the poor people. Oh, you want to call us poor? Nintendo, you'd be making a profit both ways. I don't need a business degree. I don't need to own my own company to figure that out. You make your product cheaper, it's more accessible. More accessible. I'm sorry, I'm mad. More accessible, right? Means more customers. Duh! You're so stupid, Nintendo. So stupid. I'm convinced Nintendo is a Democrat. And what I mean by that, they have no common sense. Oh, and by the way, I feel, this is a good one, you're gonna like this. I feel Switch 2 is Democrat and Valve Steam Deck is Republican. Because, hear me out, they hate Donald Trump so much, right? Right? Well, they seem to be hating on the Steam Deck. It tells you the only reason why you're mad about the Steam Deck is because you know it's a better deal than the Switch 2. Seriously, the Steam Deck, right? The cheapest version is cheaper than the Switch 2. And yes, I know, it can't do 4K. It can't do 120 frame rates per second. What it can do is give you good, affordable games. I saw a meme and I loved it. It said, Nintendo, I hate you poor people. It said, Steam, I love you poor people. And it had Jesus. You know, Valve. I should say Valve. No, well, I mean, it is Valve, but Steam is the actual store, in case you didn't know. I met someone, right? And I was like, yo, are you a gamer? And he's like, yeah, man, yeah. I was like, yo, you like Nintendo? And he's like, yeah, I like Nintendo. And I was like, yo, you know about the Switch 2, right? He's like, nah, don't even talk to me about the Switch 2, bro. And I was like, yo, you know it's a scam, right? He's like, yeah, I know it's a scam, man. And I was like, yo. I said, forget the Switch 2, Steam Deck. He's like, you got a Steam Deck? I'm like, yo, you know it. He's like, yo. I was like, Nintendo, you lost another customer. He even said that Team Steam Deck. Anyway, it was funny because, you know, he knows, you know, that I do play Nintendo. And he even said he plays Nintendo, but he doesn't want to have anything to do with the Switch 2 because he knows how much of a scam it is, bro. The Switch 2 is a scam. It doesn't matter if it has 120 frame rates per second. Not all developers are going to utilize 120 frame rates per second. Yeah. Let me tell you guys this. Ready? Not only are Nintendo messing up the old customers and the new customers, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's mess up Nintendo, shall we? First of all, buy it used. Don't buy it brand new, pre-order or whatever. And if you buy it used, then Nintendo gets no profit. But the other thing is, this is to the old gamers. They already had both Legends of Zeldas and Kirby Forgotten Lands. I don't give a, I don't want to swear. I don't care about the Jamboree. Sorry, I don't want to swear. That's one thing on YouTube. I'm not going to swear, but Facebook, I swear. Anyway, you'd probably see my posts on Facebook. But all I'm saying is, right? Yo, check this out. Check it out. Switch 1 users that have been supporting for 8 years, right? We already know what's going on. All we got to do is pay for the fidelity and performance upgrades for $10, right? And maybe the DLC for $20. We ain't paying no $80 to $100 a game. By the way, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom that you paid $70 for is actually $90. And I'm going to tell you why. Oh, it's rumor it's $90. It's rumor it's $90. No, it's not. Do the math. Fidelity performance upgrade, $10. DLC, $20. That is $90. So a game that's 8 years old, if not, the insanity of it, they're making you pay how much more? Exactly. That's why I said Nintendo doesn't care about you loyal customers. But let's talk about the new customers, shall we? Here's the best advice I can give you. And I'm sorry if I'm yelling, but I'm mad. My best advice for you, if you never bought a Switch, or you're not buying the Switch 2, or you are buying the Switch 2, just buy the Switch 1 games used. Don't pay $80 for the Switch Enhanced Edition, okay? Don't pay for it. Just buy the Switch 1 game used as long as it's compatible, because not every game's compatible. Thanks for messing that up, Nintendo. Probably on purpose. Anyway, so like I was saying, right? If you buy these games used, then you would just pay for the performance and fidelity upgrade depending on if you have the Switch 2, and then buy DLC if you want. The DLC is going to be either $10 to $20. That's what Nintendo said. But do not pay $80 to $100 for Switch 2 games. Even more, right? Maybe not buy games at all. If you are hurting, right? Just have your kids play the free-to-play games. Everybody knows they want to play Fortnite on the Switch 2, right? The only problem with free-to-play games is microtransactions. All you people that'll pay anything for your precious Nintendo, Sony, or Xbox, you are destroying the video game industry. It's already been said that PS5 is getting an increase, right? This is just the beginning. These companies are going to see Mario Kart World got $80 digitally. They're going to go, well, my game's way more advanced and the development cost is so much. We could at least get $100 for ours. And you're going to buy it because you made it very clear. I'm going to buy it anyway. I'm going to buy Grand Theft Auto 6 at $100. I don't care. Well, I got news for you. Keep doing that. And eventually the prices are going to get too high that you can't even afford it. So go broke, Nintendo fanboy shills. PlayStation, sorry, I'm trying to think. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, Sony ponies and whatever the Xbox fanboy's name is, I actually don't know. I told you, I'm not a fanboy. I'm an entrepreneur. I buy everything. Oh, and that's another thing. I don't care if you love Nintendo. I don't care if you love Xbox. I don't care if you love Sony. If me, as the customer, doesn't like their product, I'm going to have criticism over it. When, Nintendo fanboys, grow up. You have a group on Facebook called Age 30 Nintendo Club or something. No, you're acting like babies. As soon as I said I wasn't buying the Switch 2, you banned me. Grow up. I don't understand it. The mentality that you can defend billionaires. Nintendo ain't hurting. They got billions of dollars. And all these companies have one thing in common. All they care about is your money. They're making it very clear by Apple not giving you a charger for a phone, right? But gaming laptops not even coming with a cheap webcam or a disk drive, right? Companies just blatantly telling you, Ubisoft saying digitally you own nothing and that it can be taken away from you at any time. These companies just want your money. I understand as companies, right? It's important to make a profit. Yes, I get that. But when does it get to the point, right, where the company should respect your customers, or you're going to lose your customers and you're going to lose a profit? That's how companies go out of business. If you keep messing over your customers, eventually you're going to lose customers. If you keep charging variable pricing of a game that you think's worth it, but it's not, people are going to stop buying it. It's common sense. Make common sense popular again, whatever you want to say. I told you, yeah, I don't own a company. I don't have a college degree, right? Or, a certificate, I have a high school diploma. I tried college. It didn't work out for me for computers. I went to Lincoln Technical Institute. I didn't like it. It was boring. Learning, terms of server packets and all this other boring stuff. I'm more of a hands-on guy. At least in high school, I was in internet social networking, and I loved it because my teacher explained to me how to take apart computers and put them together. I got a free computer from my mom's business. She works as a banker, and I optimized the computer to run better than it ever ran. It was really cool. But anyway, you know, I'm just saying, and that's another thing. Oh, you're just a stranger on the internet. No, I'm a person that have bought every single game system from every single company. I think you should listen to criticism, constructive criticism, because all my intentions, right? I don't have an ulterior motive. I'm not trying to get you to buy something that you can't afford or you shouldn't even buy altogether. I'm telling you, it's worth it or it's not worth it. That's it. I'm telling you, this is the difference from this system. This is the difference from that system. You decide if you think it's worth it. That's basically it. When I buy all these Chinese handhelds, right? My intentions is to save people money. I want to see what's the best value and then tell people, hey, by the way, I recommend this. And just to let you know, it's not as expensive as these other handhelds. And sometimes the inexpensive handhelds are better than the expensive handhelds. How does that work? Huh? What? The inexpensive handhelds have better performance than the expensive handhelds. I don't understand it. Like, let me just show you real quick. I'll be right back. These right here are Anbernic. If you can see, it says Anbernic. This is called an RG Cube. This is an RG 405V, right? As you can see, Anbernic. Anbernic. I highly recommend Anbernic. I love Anbernic. I have practically every single Anbernic handheld they've ever released because it's worth it. And I wanted to stream, but I couldn't stream. I had to have a certain amount of subscribers. And that's not even working. YouTube says if you have 50 subscribers, you can stream on your phone. I can't even stream on my phone. It's like, oh, just upload short reels. I don't want short reels. I want to I want to stream on my cell phone. I don't want to always have to use my computer. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. It literally says if you have 50 subscribers, you can stream on your phone, mobile. So I don't even understand that. But my point is, these handhelds, right? They're more affordable. And I'm not going to say all powerful, right? Some are cheap because they're not as powerful as other ones. But the difference is the power is increasing. The perfect example is the RG557. It has 12 gigs RAM. That's random access memory. That's very important if you're using emulators. Anyway, so supposedly the Switch 2 has 12 gigs RAM. So I'm pretty sure Anbernic is competing with the Switch 2, which I think is hilarious. Good job for you, Anbernic. That's cool. And then the Switch 2 has LCD. It doesn't even have the Anbernic new handheld has AMOLED. The Valve Steam Deck has OLED, and the Switch 2 has LCD. By the way, you guys were talking about 1040p. Why not 2140p, huh? Oh, man, that's funny. Anyway, what do you guys think? Am I crazy? Probably.